Hello and greetings. Welcome to our final roundtable panel for GatherVerse Asia Summit 2025, 2026, excuse me, 2026. and with me, I have a roster of impeccable panelists, and we are going to talk about better outcomes, women guiding AI with human intent. Ladies, I would welcome you to introduce yourself, tell us who you are briefly, and why you're here. Then we'll get started with the panel. And I will begin with you, Malvika. Over to you. Tell us who you are, what inspired you to be here, and we will pass it all the way and conclude with you, Dr. Mikar. Malvika, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Lynn, and thank you, everyone. It's great to be here with you all. I'm Malvika Jitmalani. I'm dialing in from freezing Chicago. Hope you're somewhere warmer than I am. I am the founder of Atlas Group, which is a human capital advisory firm driven by the core belief that to win in the marketplace, businesses must first win in the workplace. I'm also the founder of Women Shaping AI, which is a community that brings together women from all across the world, over 10 countries, to create knowledge networks and access for women navigating this new era of AI that we find ourselves in. And what brought me here is that the mission at GatherVerse and what I'm trying to do here at Women Shaping AI are very much aligned, and I want to see women advance in the world of AI. So here we are. Great to be here with you all.
We're very happy to have you, Malvika, and we're hoping that you're drinking a lot of tea or coffee or whatever. Please keep warm. Fantastic. Over to you, Mega. Tell us who you are, why you're here.
Hi everyone, it's such a pleasure to be here. I am Megha, co-founder Menlo AI, and I also consult different companies like on the intersection of AI, emerging technology, and I have experience building hardwares and smart glasses, so I work around those things, and also how you can be more productive. By inculcating different AIs in your work. So yeah, I've been doing that for last 8 years now, and it's such a pleasure to be here.
We're very happy to have you. I think this is the second time we're having you.
Yes.
Welcome back, Mega. Uh, answer. I hope I pronounced that right. If I didn't, please correct me.
Yeah, that's correct. Hi, everyone. Thank you for hosting this event and for having me. My name is Anta. I was a former Web3 facilitator, so I worked mostly with Web3 companies before to connect them and help them grow their business through networking and connection. And right now, I am more focused on my journey as an artist, an AI artist. I also blog a lot about my journey, but not specifically about AI, but more about following my curiosity around technology, spirituality, and culture. So I decided to join the event because I think the togetherness and the value that GatherVerse have really aligns with what I believe as well and support. So yeah, pleasure to be here.
We welcome you. Thank you for joining us, and we're looking forward to learn more of your artistry journey. Stephanie, this is not your first time, and we're very happy to have you back once again. But tell us who you are and why you're here.
Hi, thank you for having me again. Stephanie Sylvester. I'm co-founder of Avatar Buddy, and we're a managed AI as a service company. What does that really mean? We build AI agents for you, and we manage and maintain them, and then we provide advisory support for AI solutions that we don't build ourselves.
You're welcome. That's very frontier. We look forward to learn more from you. Dr. Kuyana, this is not your first time as well, so we greet you and we welcome you. Please tell us who you are.
Hello, everyone. I am an academic program director of emerging technology at Columbia Southern University. And I've been dealing with AI such a long time, and I just want to help AI grow to all people, everyone.
And you're welcome here. You'll tell us more about your journey. And the panelists are, shall we begin? All right, but we have someone who is joining us. Key Jones, are you in a position to tell us who you are, introduce yourself? We'll welcome you back again. Please.
Yes, I'm available. Hi, everyone. It's always a pleasure to be here. Always, always, always. I gather it's always well. But my name is Key Jones, and I am the founder of Reset, which is an organization that helps women, men, and also youth organizations as well. Or I'm now tapping into that. And I deal with trauma. I'm a trauma informed facilitator, but I also tap into AI. I've been tapping into AI since maybe the past 3 years on maybe on the responsible and ethical side of things. So I love AI just like Dr. Bradshaw just said, and I just love helping and informing and keeping everyone safe, especially the youth, because the internet is a beast, and
Yes, it is.
we
And
have to protect our kids too.
yes, definitely. Welcome. We're very happy to always have you here, Key. Dr. Mikara, please tell us who you are and why are you here with us today?
Yes, my name is Dr. Makara Malongawu. I'm based in Houston. I'm the founder and lead researcher with Kara.ai. Kara.ai is an independent research lab where we focus on ethics and governance, ensuring that we're providing good fact-based research within the artificial intelligence space. Happy to be here with you all.
You're welcome. And now, because we concluded with you, I think we can begin with you with our first question, and anyone can feel free to chime in. Dr. Mikara, you're in research, right? But just tell us, give us a glimpse. How is human intent defined within AI leadership?
I would say that human intent is defined within AI leadership in a way that is maybe not always beneficial for everyone. I think right now what we're seeing, based on the information that is out there, that a lot of the intent is based in maybe profit margin, securing profit margin, or efficiencies, time efficiencies, things of that nature. And there's definitely a place for that. But I think that there also needs to be a place for the ethical side of things. I do think that there has been a push for to include more of the ethics within understanding and knowledge for leadership. But there's definitely been a push for things being quick, getting onto the market fast, and a little bit less of a push for equity amongst everyone.
Yes, that is a very powerful highlight when we talk about ethics and the balance of ethics when things are moving so fast. Does ethics even catch up itself? But I want to hear from the rest of the panelists. Who else wants to chime in? Malvika.
I couldn't agree more with what Dr. Mikara said. What I would add to that is I think human intent in AI leadership means intentionally designing and governing systems in a way that protects the humanness and the dignity of people, and in a way that the previous speaker was talking about trust. And so in a way that protects trust and builds trust, not decimates trust between us humans. And yes, there is a place for maximizing efficiency and scale, as Dr. Mikara said, but I think it requires us to ask some hard questions up front, which are questions like, who benefits from these systems? Who bears the risk? And who has recourse if the system fails? So we know from research that AI systems that are optimized narrowly for performance often externalize harm, especially to marginalized groups. And unless human values are explicitly encoded into the objectives and the metrics and governance, we can actually end up doing more harm. So I think human intent is more of an operating discipline than anything else.
You articulated that so well, and the responsibility for whatever AI does, who carries that responsibility? Those are questions that we
Um,
need to ask for ourselves and answer. I see you want to chime in. Please come in. Yes, please.
yeah, I just wanted to add something about this question around human intent because in the age of AI, we also have to see that and to recognize that there are different point of view of what's being human is
Yes.
depending on your political view, the religion, or if you have a transhumanistic point of view, a more evolutionary point of view, or even a theological point of view. What is being a human at this day and age is already a starting point. So I think the question is also like if AI is going to influence human life at a high scale, what kind of intent, human intent, should be guiding it? And depending on your point of view and your reference, it's going to be different. There are going to be different answers. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Definitely. Thank you for even bringing that because it tracks to the next questions. And I want to bring it over to you, Stephanie and Miga, Dr. Kuyane. I want to hear from you. When we're talking about human values, where do you think AI has crossed the line? And where do you predict it will cross the line, not only today, but also in the future? Stephanie, kindly. Your mic, please. Your mic, please.
When I think about what's happening in the field of AI and how it's evolving, I'm a little distraught because instead of using AI and the power of AI to really amplify humans and build it up, and I really believe, and I still believe that AI is a tool that can help improve human kindness. And so when I see people using AI to create nudes of other people,
Mm,
nudes of women. How is that a good use? Why would we spend any time and energy creating a solution that would once again objectify and violate women? I just that leaves me speechless. Or the fact that we're going to use AI to have you buy five more pairs of shoes when you already have 20 pairs of shoes.
mhm.
Um, so there's in my mind there's a disconnect, and we're seeing this story play over again where people are using AI to basically do the same thing that they did with social media, with the internet, and it doesn't have to be that way. But as long as we value money over human lives, we will always it seems like we'll always have that. And every time we get a new set of people that says, oh, we'll be better, and then they can hold that facade for maybe a year or two, and they're even worse. I think that it's worse because they have built our expectation that to think that they might be better. It's okay for somebody to like who is has malintent, who doesn't respect women. That's
Yeah.
fine. They're not going around saying, "Oh, we want to be nice." And so
Mhm.
we are at a crossroads right now in terms of human value and what we do with AI. And I take time out of my schedule to do these presentations and these podcasts and these webinars and conferences because I feel like if I can advocate enough, then people will start to see that we don't have to have AI do what we're now being told. That's the only way. We'll put ads in the AI. We'll have the AI optimized to sell you stuff. We're gonna have porn in the AI. We're gonna have the AI so it can undress women. I mean, that
Yeah.
is not a good use of the technology.
Not at all. It's not a good use. And that is quite an interesting observation because I believe AI only uh, amplifies who we are. It's not here to create something new. I wish it could, but it's just an amplification of who we are. And yes, thank you for such an interesting observation and sharing it with us, Mega, and then Dr. Kuyana.
Um, so what I think is the way AI is moving, it's definitely faster than we plan, and it is also very useful if we say it helps us save time and a lot of things. It helps us be more productive, but the real problem involves like it drifts when we start. Saying that okay, engagement is more important or growth is more important, numbers are more important, and cost reduction is more important than the intent and the dignity of the product or the use case around it. So that's, I guess, where the problem is created when we start using too much AI and not have humans in the loop. So it's very important for someone to see if it's the right decision. Even if it's automated, it has to be a right decision based on real human analysis and data. So I think that's where we need to stop. We need to create the roots of human intent, and then obviously automate it and make it better and faster and save time with the help of AI.
You know, Mega, I have a follow up to what you just said. You mentioned when we use AI too much, and we are the humans who are using AI too much. I don't know. Is there a difference whereby we set up systems that are totally dependent on AI? And is there a difference when humans, as ourselves, we are always on AI? AI is the go-to help. Number one help, AI. When I need this, AI. And right now we even have agents. When I need to shop, I put my shopping list for the whole month or entire year, and the work of AI is to do the shopping. So, do you have a difference between that, and what are the dangers of that?
Yeah, I think what you said. We are spending a lot of time on AI. ChatGPT is probably our best friends, all of us. And but I'm not talking about how we're using AI like that, but how we're using it to make decisions is important. If we are completely dependent and making opaque decisions only based on the data that's provided by the AI and not analyzing it to something that happens on ground level, that's the major difference where the decisions are different from humans involved in that process and only making the decisions that are only based on AI, or maybe you know the systems that are completely created with the help of AI and no human involved.
Thank you for clarifying that on the decision making part. You know, Dr. Kuyana, I'm curious to hear from you. What is your take? What do you think of the future?
I think AI has a great future, especially if we use it ethically and in the right ways. I am so grateful for what Stephanie just shared because she's right. I mean, seeing AI bots to be girlfriends or to carry babies for women that don't want to, that's sickening. To me, that's not the realm of where we should use AI. AI should be our assistance and to help us to deal with things a little bit faster or do things at our job to make it easier. I mean, some of the perverse things that we've seen AI is being used for is really sickening. We need to really work together to make AI accessible to everyone and not just for those weird ways that some want it used for. We should use it for a lot of things. I was thinking about, cancer research, how AI is being used for that, helping individuals, even the surgeries that are taking place using robots to assist, for a better accuracy rate. And in academics, we should also use it, not for students to use basically for cheating on assignments, but to use to provide efficient research in which they can write the papers themselves, but also use AI as a stepping stone or a foundation. So I think if we use AI in a way, responsible AI, that's what I like to call it. If we can use it ethically as we can, that would be the goal for the future, not to just use it in for just weird and perverse ways. And we got to really protect the kids because I will not let my kids use certain forms of AI because of some of those ways that are being pushed out there and to the younger population now. That it's really perverse.
Responsible, ethical AI. That is well said. Does anyone want to add a sentiment to that answer? Raising your hand. Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of.
So you've asked earlier about when the AI is drifting, when we develop this technology, and I think AI is drifting the moment it doesn't serve humanity anymore. And it can translate with removing human dignity if it's just a number, if the person is just considered as a number. And I think there are a lot of dystopian science fictions that can already depict that kind of future where if AI do all the work, what are we here for?
Mm-hmm.
So we have this intrinsic value that shouldn't be taken away from us, and also the way we relate, the human relationship
Yes.
with one another, the belongings in terms of culture. Because if there is a standardized culture on the internet, then you erase an entire um, representation.
Yes.
And we also, because I am presenting myself as an AI artist, which is already a little bit controversial for some, which doesn't consider AI as an art, and how can you work ethically and show your creativity and using this tool as a collaborator or a tool, and not
Yes.
just a replacement.
All right.
So yeah, I think that's how this AI thing was drifting as I
Well put answer, and thank you for bringing it on a creative perspective. That's very, very important. You know, Stephanie, I saw your hands up before I come to you, Dr. Mikhail. Stephanie, what did you want to add? Your mic, please. Your mic, please.
I was responding to your question about responsible AI. Finish that comment, but we've gone back to the other question. I was going to respond to that. So
All right, all right. You're welcome. Dr. Mikhail, in your research, I believe you do something to do with design. You have something that could help us with this. Which early design decisions most influence long-term outcomes? And Malvika, I also want to hear from you, Dr. Mikhail.
Yeah, so I would say, based on the research, there are quite a few things that do most influence those long-term outcomes. I would say one of those things being, of course, data selection and proxy choice. Through the research, especially in areas like healthcare and things like criminal justice, quite a few different areas. Especially the past couple of years, you've seen areas where, based off of these design choices, you see negative outcomes, which are long-term, that do affect people, not just now, but continuing on in the future. For example, within healthcare, there is a case study where, developers or individuals who are directly impacting development of these different use cases, from their perspective, they may not see different proxies. For example, there was an AI use case where AI was established to diagnose people, and this is just in general, is to help doctors with diagnosis, but their proxy or the logic that they used to come up with this diagnosis was based on cost. It was based on individuals who showed up for various different whatever that was ailing them to hospitals and things of that nature, but it misses a lot of context. Say, someone doesn't come to the hospital because they don't have money, or they don't go to the hospital for whatever contextual issue, and based on that, using cost as a sole proxy, you're essentially saying that somebody doesn't go to the hospital, that they are considered healthy, which means that they are maybe less diagnosed with more advanced issues based off of those different types of logic. So different things like this that directly influence social impact, influences individuals day to day, absolutely has those long-term outcomes. And then kind of building off of that too, you think about team compositions and things like that. If you have monolith of individuals who are designing these different tooling, even thinking about problem framing, all these different things, talking to people who will be most influenced or most impacted by these use cases at the end, including them in the beginning, including them in ideation. That way, when you are building these different use cases, that you're thinking holistically versus kind of doing a backtrack, once something is out there and asking for feedback, after something is already deployed. So it's
Yes.
important to get a full circle picture at ideation. That way you can positively influence long-term outcomes.
Yes, and you bring a very essential point there. When we're talking about monolithic design, that's the, I would call it, that's the biggest failure we could do when it comes to AI. Just having one angle to something, absolutely wrong. And Malvika, I wanted to hear from you. What is your take on this?
Completely agree with what Dr. Makara has just said. I think one of the most consequential early design decisions in AI is about alignment. So, specifically, what is the system optimized for, and what values are embedded into that optimization? And I think alignment sits upstream of almost every downstream outcome. So, alignment means ensuring that what an AI system is optimized to do matches human values, it matches real world goals and societal well being, not just technical performance or efficiency. For anyone who wants to learn more about alignment in AI, there's a fantastic book that I would recommend called The Alignment Problem. It's by Brian something. I don't remember his last name. I think it's Brian Christian. And beyond alignment, I think there are several kind of tightly linked decisions that sort of compound long-term effects. So one is metric selection. What gets measured becomes the proxy for success, as Dr. Makara said. And when metrics ignore trust, fairness, downstream societal impact, those outcomes are effectively deprioritized. Obviously, data choices, like Dr. Makara explained, and then human override and accountability mechanisms. So systems that are designed without meaningful human intervention points will shift responsibility away from people and toward automation, which makes harm harder to correct. So what makes alignment especially important is misalignment scales faster than governance can correct. So if you're retrofitting ethics after deployment, that can be costly and politically fraught and often ineffective.
Yeah, I'm listening to you and I can't imagine. I'm just reflecting on the effect of misalignment. The way you put it, it seems like a dangerous thing for me, and we don't want to get there. Key Jones, welcome back. And we just want to bring you on this, and I'm coming to you, Mega, as well. Why are women's perspective critical in AI deployment and governance? Okay.
Yeah, sure. I say women, we bring system thinking. We bring system thinking, we bring lived experiences, and we bring morals more than anything. We're gonna think before we do anything. But one thing that I tell you that we're gonna do as women, we're gonna ask questions. You can't you can't get by us without us asking questions. We're gonna ask what we want to know. One main thing we're gonna always ask is who gets overlooked and who could possibly also get impacted first. So what happens to families, what happens to communities for one, what happens to caregivers, and also what happens to children, because us women, we lead from the heart, which is a place of stewardship, not just innovation, but we want to protect whatever we put our hands on. We just have that mother instinct. We like to, I would say nurture it, so we often more in tune with the relational impact, which is the trauma and kind of power off balance a little bit, and those long-term social consequences. Because many of us, we kind of navigated those exclusions ourselves. So we quickly recognize when systems replicate inequality, even when the math kind of looks good, but not good, we're going to recognize it right away. So that perspective is not solved, but it's strategic. So it's what prevents technology from becoming a harmful infrastructure.
And I wholeheartedly resonate with what you say, and I believe most of the women can, and that is who we are. That is our nature. Mega, you are nodding to
Yes, it
that.
is.
Mega, you have something to say. Please tell us.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Key here. And women bring more impact aware lenses in everything. So, women in general, they understand how important it is to consider everybody, all kinds of communities, and all kinds of edge cases, and what would be the consequences ahead if we make these decisions, and not just to put numbers on the table, but also trust and importance of human intent and values in the decisions. So, also considering people who do not have a voice many times on the table, and understanding them, understanding the communities, and the consequences that would bring these decisions to, and all of those things.
Yeah, we have the mindset of the society. We carry the society, right? I think it's an African proverb or it's a global proverb that says if you educate a woman, you educate the whole society, and that is beautifully well put. I'm bringing it over to the next questions, and I'm coming to you, answer and Stephanie. What actions across sectors can slow harmful acceleration without stalling progress? Your mic, please.
Um, so when you think about this, we all think that, or the people that are building AI systems think that they're the smartest people in the world, and they get into a room and they argue with each other, and then through their very narrow lens, they come up with solutions, and then they try and convince us that that what they're building makes sense, without any thought or deference to the actual people in the community. And what I see happening, or where we went when we built out our AI solution, is we started with the community we wanted to impact the most, the marginalized communities, and we were intentional about hiring people from those communities to define our requirements. And what we ended up with was a foundational base that was such that as we're building on it, it is stable and continues to uplift those communities. And as we're evolving, we don't have to retrofit anything, because we go in with input from those communities. We reinforce. I have some new customers, and I'm telling them, even though you are my customers, what I'm building is not for you. What I'm building is for your customers. And unless your customers are part of the conversation, then whatever I build has a higher chance of failing, because
Yes.
I have not had any opportunity to engage with those customers. Um, so doing it that way does not slow progress. It slows harm, it mitigates, but it doesn't slow progress. And so what we've seen is that we can go faster, and we're able to come up with how to solve problems, real world problems,
Yes.
with AI before the big boys do, because we started with from that perspective. And so I encourage anybody that's building, if you're not engaging with the marginalized communities, with the low resource communities, with the communities that are traditionally overlooked, you're putting your AI solution at risk,
Mhm.
and you're going to have a hard time scaling.
Yes,
Um, but if you start with those people, you start bringing them into the fold, then what you end up having is you end up having a solution that it is so flexible, it's
definitely.
almost dizzying what you can do. And I'll just end with, we have farmers in Ghana. We
Mhm.
have using our tool to learn how to farm. We have people in Belize using our tool to preserve Belizean history, learn about Belizean history. We have healthcare provider using our solution in the US. Very, very, very diverse. And we don't have to have a special code base. We don't have to
Yes.
have special branches, because the way we built our solution flex to all these diverse ways.
Definitely, Stephanie. What you say just resonated, and it aligns with what we believe at GatherVerse community development. Coming up with the solution begins with the people. When you begin with your smart mind, as you wrapped it up, technologies, when they come together, that they're smart in their own ways, but when it comes to solution for everyone, it applies only when you bring them at the table. Answer, tell us what you think, and then I'll come to you, Dr. Kuyana.
Yeah, I agree with Stephanie. When she talked about the importance of having a good foundation when you build something, and I would say when it comes to see how we can have less harm on the society regarding to AI. On the macro level, it's gonna be difficult because I think the giants have more influence than us. I'm a bit negative on this, unfortunately, because uh, most of the time when a disruption happens, and yes, there is people who are gonna position well, but you also have to fight against those big companies, and there is a need also to be mindful and be aware of the different
Yes.
tools that are at our disposal and what kind of narratives and agenda are put through them, because there are the different goals depending on the country. US is more for innovation, UIA is more for an experimental hub, China is
Mm,
more for control. So regarding depending on your goal, being a bit more flexible on where you want to go and knowing balancing the risk and the advantage you can exploit from those systems. So yeah, I
thank you
would say
for.
that, but I don't have a real answer or a solution about how we can have less harm, because
Yes.
usually it's like it happens and then you correct it. So yeah, or we learn from history.
Yes,
Yeah.
answer, and it's okay if we don't have all the answers. We are in the frontier, and that's why we have discussions like this. You bring your piece, I bring my piece, and the sooner we realize it, the more we have answers. So it's okay. We're okay with the expressions, and that was very insightful. Dr. Kuyana, what is your take on this? Your mic, please.
Well, I think that if we go forward with coming up with a solution, we need to do it from all angles, not just one particular group or person, to come up with what we can do to accelerate AI into a more positive environment. We need to have men as well as women, and we have to have everyone, not just a particular group of billionaires or anybody. We have to be all in on this, so that way we can drive innovation, and we can drive innovation with AI. And that's the only way that we'll be able to successfully improve it and get it to what we need to do. We need AI. Is very disturbing to find some AI that is being created for women about women's health are being created by men. That should be
Yes.
created with women consulting. I'm sorry, because we know more about our health than any guy can ever tell us. So we need to come together. That's the only way we're going to push AI to a positive, innovative way forward.
But, Dr. Quiana, when I'm listening to you, and thank you for mentioning that particular subject on women's health and AI, and we're going to carry it over to our upcoming Women's Health Summit. I look forward to seeing you. But I'm just wondering, we've all advocated the need for having community and having everyone coming together, but how do we make this happen? How do I bring someone from Kenya? I'm in Kenya. How do I bring someone from China? How do I bring someone from Trinidad? How do we come all together and just do this innovation together? Does someone has an answer or has a sentiment for that?
Yeah, I mean, we're a Miami-based company. We're working with people in South Africa. We're working with people in Ghana. We're working with people in Belize, and we're working with people across the U.S. And so, I believe the first thing is to have this global mindset.
Yes.
Believing that the talent that you need might not always be right next to you. In fact, it's better not to have the talent being right next to you because you and them are seeing the same thing. But if you have talent from different parts of the world, there is different worldview and different perspectives. So the way you're solving the problem becomes way more holistic. And it's not unheard of. I mean, we have a weekly meeting with people from South Africa, Miami, and California.
Yes.
It's a little challenging to get a timeline, a time that meets everybody's needs, but we're managing to do that. And so I believe that it's what's the mindset that you want. So if you go into it saying it is possible, then it becomes possible. If you go into it with, oh, we have time zone difference, we have language challenges, then those will become challenges.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. That was insightful. And Dr. Mikara, I want to hear what's your take on this. I want to hear from you, Malvika and Mika. When innovation celebrates disruption, we've all seen fast speed is appreciated more, and communities bear the consequences. So, who bears the responsibilities? Dr. Mikara. Your mic, please.
Thank you. I would say who currently bears a responsibility?
Yes.
If you ask me, I'd say no one. And I think that's the problem. Us as society, we shouldn't bear the responsibility. And I would say maybe we are, but I don't think as a society we're educated enough to take ownership either. So I would say, who bears it now? No one. Who should bear it? Your government should bear it. We should have frameworks that are in place that are globally recognized that should guide us. Companies should bear that responsibility. But in general, I would say that's not something that's currently happening. And I think that's where we do have a lot of these issues that I think we're all kind of on the same page from an ethical, equitable perspective, but that's where we get a lot of those issues is because we don't have anyone taking that responsibility.
Yes to that, Dr. Mikar. And do you think this will happen anytime soon? Do you think we will remain like this for years? In your perspective as a researcher, what's your prediction?
I think that we're seeing individually countries doing it. You have the EU AI Act, you have Canada with their act, things of that nature. They're coming. But also you see that the top AI companies, AI models are US based. And so that does pose a problem if also, the U.S. is not as forward-thinking or motivated to have those types of things, governance, as a whole here. So I think in general, from a global perspective, we're heading in the right direction to have governance, but it will take time.
It will take time, definitely. Malvika, what is your take?
I think responsibility lies with those who not only design but also deploy capital and finance and profit from the system. So, and we know that legal scholars are increasingly arguing that algorithmic harm is not accidental, it's the result of governance gaps. And so when we think about who bears the consequences, I mean, look at what has happened with, and this is not science fiction, these are real cases of teenage deaths that have resulted from teenagers being exposed to systems like Character.ai and ChatGPT, where these AI systems sexually groomed teenagers for months and months, and then ultimately encouraged them to commit suicide. Two such cases, there have been dozens actually, but two such cases that are high profile cases in the US were the cases of Sewell Setzer and Adam Rain. And when Sewell Setzer was encouraged to commit suicide by Character.ai, Character.ai tried to argue that its AI system has freedom of speech. And of course, the judge's counter argument was freedom of speech is a right that should be afforded to humans, and this system is not human. And so these are examples of, Dr. Kiana said earlier that we need to protect the youth. And these are examples of situations where we failed to protect the youth. So the responsibility needs to lie not only with the developers of these models, but the people who are financing and promoting these models.
Yes, and it seems to me that the work ahead is quite big. We have a lot to do. Yes, we've gotten somewhere so far, but with such kind of examples where kids are committing suicide as a result of persuasion, I know people used to commit suicide, but it doesn't have to extend with machines as well, especially for kids. I mean that seems so horrible, and we have a lot of work to do. And that is why we gather for such summits and we discuss and we take our actions at home. Mega, you're closing us off. What's your take?
So I think I definitely agree with Malvika here, because it's important to take responsibility and ownership of something that you've built, and people who funded this and deployed this, the developers who've designed it, everybody is responsible for the consequences that are bared by the vulnerable societies, and also uh, these age groups, teenagers, and everybody else. The government definitely is a part of taking responsibility in all these actions on a broader level. But yes, people who design it, fund it, develop it, are a part of it, are marketing it, they're all responsible, and they have to take ownership of these situations and cases.
Yeah, just to follow up, do you think we have the responsibility to also hold them accountable?
Oh yes, definitely. Because if they are making profit out of it, they are making money out of it. They're designing it. They're marketing it for, the systems to work, and they're saying that it's going to make your life better. They are definitely accountable if it's making the life bad, or creating cases like that, or the mindsets in specific age groups where they are vulnerable and they're grooming. They are definitely accountable.
Yes, thank you. Well, panelists, to wrap this up, this conversation was quite insightful. I learned so much, again, so much. Answer briefly, tell us something to close off if you have something to say. Briefly.
Yeah, I just wanted to add the issues of culture because everything starts with the culture. And in my personal opinion, it's everyone's responsibility because I think the children has to be also monitored by their parents and you don't need to be 24 hours on your computer when you're 5. So there is also responsibility from the parents, I think, and also what is considered normal nowadays when everything is digitalized and virtual. So I think the layer is there are different layers of responsibility starting from the government, which gives the framework and the regulation that helps monitor how the companies build their system, then bringing awareness through education about how to approach it, and it's through curiosity and also the responsibility as a person to know, yeah, that's how we live now. What should we do about it?
Yes, definitely. And maybe just one more second. I think the team allowed us to have just one more bit. And uh, if there's anyone to say, if there's something you want to say to the future AI leaders who have been prepared, this is the open mic for you. Please,
I would,
anyone wants to fire away. Okay.
yeah, I would just
Go
close
for it.
off by saying, there's no doubt that AI is going to transform how we live, work, and play. I think what we need to keep in mind, though, is that AI transformation should be people-led and tech-enabled, not the other way around.
Amazing. Stephanie.
I was going to say the exact same thing, so nothing else to add.
All right. Who else? Dr. Vikar, something to conclude as of?
No, I think that's a great way to end. Thanks.
All right. All right. Thank you. Mega, anything else to end us with?
Yeah, I think all of it is actually what Malvika said, that it's very important that we work with AI and not AI replacing us and making it, different. So yeah, I think it's great.
Right. That's a beautiful wrap up, and it was a powerful panel. This conversation will continue. We have an upcoming GatherVerse AI Summit, so I'm looking forward to have you back, ladies. It was such an awesome time spending it with you, and our Gather as well for this last Roundtable Panel, GatherVerse Summit 2026. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.